31 years. That's the average length of a salaried career in America. 31 years of direct deposits, performance reviews, and that low-grade background anxiety you've just kind of decided is normal. Do the math with me for a second. $75,000 a year, 31 years. That's $2.3 million that passed through your hands. Now, the Federal Reserve's 2023 Survey of Consumer Finances puts the median American retirement balance at 65 at $87,000. So where did the other 2.2 million go? That's not a you problem. That's a structure problem. And the structure has a name. We're calling it the salary trap. And before you assume this is another spend less on coffee video, it isn't. This one goes somewhere different. I want to tell you about James, 38, senior software engineer, $135,000 a year. The person his college friends call when they have money questions. Helps his parents occasionally, has a Robinhood account he checks too often, and a savings account he checks less. Smart enough to know something's off. Not sure yet what. James did everything correctly. Degree, good company, promotions, raises. And on a Thursday evening, he's sitting at his kitchen table, not panicking, just doing that thing where you open your banking app, stare at it, close it, and open it again like the number's going to change. It doesn't change. James isn't a cautionary tale. James is the median outcome of a salaried career done correctly. And the reason why is something his employer understood before James ever signed the offer letter. Because the salary was never designed to make James wealthy. It was designed to make him useful. And those two things are not the same instrument. Okay, so I want to explain something that took me an embarrassingly long time to actually see clearly. When you accept a salary, what are you actually selling? Time. That's it. Units of time at a fixed rate. And here's the thing about time that nobody in HR mentions. It doesn't compound. It doesn't appreciate. It doesn't send you a dividend on a Tuesday morning while you're still in bed. You show up, you produce, you get paid. You stop showing up, the number stops too. Now compare that to what your employer keeps. Every hour you work produces value. Some of that comes back to you. That's the salary. The rest, the margin, the systems you built, the clients you brought in, the institutional knowledge that now lives inside the company instead of inside you, that stays. That gets reinvested. That compounds. Your employer isn't paying you your value. They are paying you your replacement cost, the minimum required to keep you from walking out. And I mean, those two numbers, not close. Not even in the same time zone. Now, the raise. Let's talk about the raise, because this is where it gets genuinely dark. You work hard, you get promoted. $75,000 becomes $92,000. $17,000 more a year. That feels like winning. And in the moment, it genuinely is. I'm not going to be that guy who tells you raises don't matter. They matter. But here's what also happens. Your rent moves up because you finally can. Car payment upgrades because the old one made sense to replace. The restaurants your colleagues casually suggest for a Tuesday lunch, like that's just a thing normal adults do. Those shift. Wardrobe shifts. Vacations shift. The slow, ambient cost of living as the version of yourself that earns $92,000. None of this required a decision. It just happened, the way humidity happens. You didn't choose it, you absorbed it. Economists call this lifestyle inflation. I call it the raise tax. Because every time your income goes up, the cost of your life recalibrates to match it. Not immediately, slowly, quietly. And your employer, fully aware this will happen. Documented human behavior, absolutely relied upon. Because if your lifestyle absorbs every raise, you will always need the next one. You're not building toward freedom. You're building a cage that gets more comfortable every few years. The bars are just better upholstered. James got 4 raises in 6 years. His savings account has $14,000 in it. He's not irresponsible. He's just running the default. And I'd be lying if I said I watched this happen and immediately understood it. I ran the same pattern, different numbers, same result. Which makes the next part, honestly, the part that got me the most. Okay, real quick, I need to do the YouTube thing for 15 seconds. If you're watching this and haven't subscribed, what exactly are you waiting for? I'm literally explaining why your paycheck is structurally designed to keep you running in place and you're treating this channel like a free sample at Costco. Just gonna try it and walk away? Subscribe, hit the bell, drop a comment. Tell me what your last raise actually bought you, because I already have a guess, and I'm probably right. Okay, back to it. Now I want to show you the other side of the ledger, the side that doesn't make it into the onboarding packet. While you've been building your salary, your employer has been building something else entirely. In 1978, CEO pay was roughly 30 times the average worker's salary. By 2023, per the Economic Policy Institute, it was 344 times. The worker salary didn't stop growing, it grew. The CEO's compensation just grew 11 times faster. Same economy, same company, same game. Very different rules. Why? Because the CEO isn't primarily paid in salary. He's paid in equity, ownership, a piece of the thing that compounds. Here's a real example. I'm picking a boring corporate one on purpose so nobody gets emotional about it. When Satya Nadella took over Microsoft in 2014, the stock was around $37. Today, it's north of $400. His compensation was heavily weighted in stock. The engineers who shipped the products driving that growth got their salaries. Good salaries, real salaries. Satya got a different kind of math. Salary and equity are two completely different vehicles. One pays you for showing up. The other pays you for having shown up forever. You were handed the first one. They kept the second. And the anger is useful, but only if it points somewhere real. Because here's where I want to slow down. This is the part that actually matters. There's a specific kind of exhausted that comes from doing everything correctly and still feeling behind. It's not the tired from working too hard. It's the tired from working hard in the wrong direction without knowing it was the wrong direction. James is 38. He's got maybe 27 working years left if he plays it straight. And right now, every single one of those years is pointed at a salary that resets itself every month. Income comes in, income leaves. It doesn't stack, it doesn't compound, it circulates. The people who broke out of this, and they exist, this is not a poster in a dentist's waiting room. They didn't always earn more. They changed what the gap was for. They stopped treating the gap between income and expenses as leftover money. They started treating it as raw material. Not everyone has a gap. Some of you watching this, the math is already tight, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise. That's real. But even when the gap is small, understanding what it's for changes how hard you protect it. Also, I'm aware that I'm making a YouTube video about salary traps, while some of you are watching this on a lunch break at the job that's doing the thing I'm describing. The irony is not lost on me, nor is the algorithm. Because once you see the mechanics clearly, one comparison in particular starts to look very different. I think about it more than I probably should. Two people, same starting salary, $65,000. Same raises, same job market, identical income curve. Person A does what the system expects. Lifestyle adjusts with every raise. Saves when there's room, which, as we've established, there usually isn't. Retires at 65 with the median, $87,000. A paid-off car, a social security check covering about 40% of what they were spending. The math doesn't quite close. It never quite closes. Person B does one thing differently. Every raise, they hold the lifestyle where it was, and they redirect the difference into anything that compounds without requiring their presence. Index funds, a rental unit if they can eventually get there. Equity in something. By 65, Person B has somewhere between $1.1 and $1.4 million. Same salary, same raises, same everything. Different understanding of what the raise was actually for. Now, I want to be honest with you here for a second because I think this comparison can sound cleaner than it actually is in real life. Person B still had hard months, still had the car that broke down at the wrong time, the medical bill that showed up uninvited, the year where redirecting anything felt genuinely impossible. The chart looked smooth, the life wasn't smooth. They just didn't use the hard months as a reason to abandon the direction. The thing separating Person A from Person B isn't discipline or intelligence, it's visibility. Person A never saw the system clearly enough to push back against it. The lifestyle inflation happened automatically, frictionlessly, requiring zero decision. Person B had to actively choose not to let normal happen. How many years have you been running on the default? James has been running on it for 6 years. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying, 6 years is also not 40. In the machine that produced those 6 years, it's not malicious. The salary trap isn't a conspiracy. Nobody sat in a room and decided to keep you broke. It's more elegant than that. It runs on incentives, and every incentive points the same direction. Your employer is incentivized to pay you your replacement cost. Consumer culture is incentivized to absorb every raise before you can redirect it. The entire financial infrastructure around you, optimized for you spending, not accumulating. No villain, just a machine running exactly as designed. And the machine works! $2.3 million through your hands, $87,000 left. That's not a rounding error. That's a design outcome. So what changes? The machine doesn't. Your employer isn't going to start handing out equity out of generosity. Consumer culture isn't getting less sophisticated. What changes is that you stop being surprised by the result. Because the moment you see the salary for what it actually is, a ceiling, dressed up as a floor, something shifts. You stop asking, how do I earn more? You start asking, what am I building with the gap? You stop chasing the raise. You start building the thing the raise was supposed to fund. James is still at his kitchen table, banking app open, same number. But he's asking a different question now. That's the only thing that ever actually changes. Your boss gets rich because he owns something. You've been getting raises. Those were never the same game. They just handed you the same jersey and told you they were. This is breaking money. See you in the next one.